Hey y'all, how's it going? And welcome back. Today is the last day of July, which means that it is the last day of Camp NanoWriMo for the year of 2024. Instead of a longer recap for the last week that I wrote, I decided to do a little bit more of a more relaxed wrap-up video. Last week, I definitely felt the burnout. I felt the burnout pretty hard during the last week, and there were 5 days straight that I did not write. But even with me not writing for the past 5 days or so this past week, I still wrote more days this month than I have any other month of this year. Wanted to go over some stats, some things that I learned, and some things that I feel like I will do next year and would suggest for other people. I feel like this is the first time that I have done Camp NanoWriMo so seriously. I've attempted it several times before, but I feel like I just never really got the results that I wanted or stuck with it for long enough to consider myself truly doing the challenge. I have done NanoWriMo very seriously once, but this was really only the second time that I felt like I really committed to it, and I'm very proud of myself for that. There are a lot of things that I did this month with my writing that I'm really proud of. All right, let's take a look at some statistics. For any of you watching my channel that are a little bit newer, I actually write down my word count, and I have written down how many words that I have written every single day for the year of 2024. I'll have to do an updated video of how I put together my word count tracker, but for now, I'll just share some screenshots. We will start with the longest stretch that I have of the streaks. I define writing streaks as how many days in a row I have written. So basically coining the phrase writing every day. This month in July, my highest streak of writing every day was 10 days. The beginning of those 10 days started a little bit before July. 10 days was the longest that I went consecutively writing every single day. According to Gemini AI, I put all of the individual word counts that I had each day and asked for the average, and it looks like my average was about 789 words, which is a little below what I had for my goal, but I do have to point out that one of the days that I wrote down as a writing day, I wrote 0 words because I was redlining. So I think that that may have skewed my results a little bit. I'm going to see what it says without the 0 in there. So technically I didn't write any words, but I did writing that day. Okay, it looks like it only went up a little bit, so the average for that is 833 words. Now for a big majority of the month, I did hit my goal of writing 1,000 words each day, or at least editing, going through over 1,000 words. So for Camp NanoWriMo, I had 2 goals. One of my goals was to write every day, and the other goal that I had was to write and or edit about 1,000 words a day. I upped my daily goal from what I usually have it at, which was around 300 words. So on the days that I wrote, 57% of the time, I did hit 1,000 words, which was my goal. Now, I did not accomplish my goal of being able to write every single day. However, I did write 19 out of 30 days, which is better than all of the other months that I have done. Today is technically the last day. Any words that I write right now would be considered a part of the NanoWriMo word count, but I wanted to get this video out to you as soon as possible, so I decided to forego that last day, which would be 20 days. There's also another reason that I decided to not write on the last day, because I kind of hit the perfect number. I didn't really have a goal for the amount of words that I wanted to reach towards the end of the month. I didn't want it to be too similar to NanoWriMo that is done in November. I wanted this to still be a little different and just reach for really high daily goals to see how I would end up at the end of the month. But overall, I ended up hitting exactly 15,000 words written, which is pretty cool. I was very proud of myself. It's only about 1/4 of what you usually do on NanoWriMo itself, which makes sense because my word count was 1,000 instead of 6,000. The math roughly adds up, not exactly, but pretty close. But it wasn't my goal to get a project done fast. It was simply a goal to help me progress in my projects, which I really feel like I did. In all of these projects, I feel like I wasn't necessarily stuck, but it kind of just looked like in the distance for me, a lot of work that I was really struggling to get the ball rolling on. And I feel like for both of my projects that I worked on, not only did I hit really great goals, but I ended up having a lot of clarity about what I wanted to do next with these projects. Like taking a complete break and stop in redlining Escape the Safe House until I write the next portion of the second book that I have been thinking of doing. And for Sleepless Wonder, there were a lot of different things that I wanted to adjust and add in. I did get to a third of the way through of editing Sleepless Wonder. Now my next goal for next month is to finish up Sleepless Wonder. Once I finish up the red lines for Escape the Safe House in the portion that I want to stop at, my hope is that I can completely focus on Sleepless Wonder, adding in everything there for the next month, and then getting myself a printed copy just for me to hold and to put away for a while and to simmer, and perhaps the next time that I do my edits I can send it to beta readers. And for Escape the Safe House, I want to write that portion after I'm done with Sleepless Wonder and then continue on my edits for the first book. At this point with Escape the Safe House, I feel like I have edited it so much that it is getting to a point where I do need to send it to beta readers. I do need to really get the ball rolling on getting everything prepped and polished and signed before querying, although querying is definitely a goal in the near future for them. I honestly loved Camp NanoWriMo. I had such an enjoyable time. I felt like I got a little bit of my spark back with writing again, which I honestly think is the whole point. Some things that I've learned with Camp NanoWriMo, and also with some of the things that I did for setting my goals, is that making plans to avoid getting burnout is almost just as important as making the really big goals that you have for Camp NanoWriMo, or for just NanoWriMo in general, or for some big lofty goals that you have with writing. I feel like it's going to be just as important to take care of yourself and make actual plans to take care of yourself when writing, and putting as much care and thought into that as your writing goals itself. That way you're going to get a lot less discouraged, and the next time that I do a big challenge like this, one of the big things that I would like to add into my plans is figuring out a way that I can, instead of making a big project a burden, making sure that I don't overdo it and making it a more enjoyable experience. Don't get me wrong, this experience was overall very enjoyable, but there were some times and some days where it was really a struggle. And that's simply because I didn't think ahead. All I was thinking of is like, go, 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 we can do it, just push through, power through it, and it's simply not realistic. I think that another thing that I learned with Camp NanoWriMo is that the point of Camp NanoWriMo shouldn't be, let's just knock out a project as fast as possible. And honestly, I'm a little bit wary of doing NanoWriMo period because of that. I feel like a lot of times, unfortunately, NanoWriMo is a big proponent of just getting really fast literature out, and because of that, because it is so fast, it's not going to be as good. As simply put, obviously the time that you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So I think that that is something that I'm going to keep in mind for a NanoWriMo goal. I'm not sure if I would want my goal to be finishing a first draft of a book. I'm not sure how realistic, healthy, and honestly helpful that would be for me as an author. So I have a lot of things to think about before November, and hopefully by November I'll be done with quite a few of my different projects so that I can clear my mind a bit of what exactly I want to do next. I hope that you all had a lovely, wonderful time during Camp NanoWriMo. I'm definitely planning on doing it again next year, and I feel like because I have had this experience, next year's Camp NanoWriMo is going to be even better. With that being said, I am still going to continue on many of my projects that I did during Camp NanoWriMo. I've been really enjoying these vlogs, and I've been wanting to do some more content. It's actually like reinvigorated me to like do some more content here on YouTube because I've had so much fun with Camp NanoWriMo. I have been hoping to do lives, trying to figure out a good time that I would do that, what's a good time for all of my other viewers. So if you have any suggestions for times that you feel like you would be able to at least have the freedom and opportunity to do any sort of writing sprints, I would love some suggestions. Sayonara, you guys. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.